Michael, I beg your pardon. Look, I know you don't care. You made that clear yesterday. I know you don't care.
I care.
No. You said no. You said you didn't care.
I care about
it. I was here when you said it.
I care about everything.
No, you don't. You don't care about what I care about.
I care about people.
Okay. Well, you don't care about this person. You don't care. I am scrolling and refreshing and checking to see if Odell Beckham has a team yet.
So am I.
No, you're not. You said yesterday you would not. You said that he is not a difference maker. That was what you said, in essence. You said he is not somebody who is worth refreshing TweetDeck or scrolling to figure out.
I didn't say that.
Does he have a team yet? Yeah, you did. Hey, bro.
Listen.
Yeah, you did. You even did it with the phone. You even used the phone. You said he is not a guy that you're like, does he have a team yet? That's what you did.
Here's a distinction. I just want to get this straight. He is not a great player. He is a great story, though. Not a great player, great story. So just for the stories, for my stories, you know, like your folks used to say, I don't know, if your grandma or probably auntie, you got to watch my stories.
Yeah, Young and Restless.
Young and Restless.
Mine.
All my children. We're all my children household. Anyway, Odell Beckham is great in the stories. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he chooses. If you believe the sources say he's considering the Chiefs, the Packers, and the hometown Saints. What's up, hometown?
Okay.
Considering
so
the
what's
Saints?
the best fit? What's the best fit out of those three? If those are his three finalists, what's the best fit?
Oh, best fit for him or best fit for the franchise? Now, for the franchise,
let's just focus on him. Just focus on him. If you're Odell Beckham, because again, the report was these are his three finalists, and we also know. I'll add to it right now. The Bucs are out. Bruce Arians said the Bucs ain't doing it. Not a shock. The Seahawks said we'll see and didn't claim him, so the Seahawks are presumably still in the mix. The Packers have reportedly offered him a minimum contract. And I think the only other thing is the Patriots. Reportedly, the Patriots have been in touch with his camp. So that's the news in a nutshell. If you're Odell Beckham or you're advising Odell Beckham, which of his three finalists, Chiefs, Saints, or Packers, or if you want to throw somebody else in there, that's fine. Where would you tell him to go? Or where would you go if you were Odell?
That's a great question. That's a great question, Mike. All right, so cynically, I wouldn't be advising him. This is let me just tell you what I think before we get to the advice portion of it. What I think is he wouldn't like Kansas City because there are a couple of Pro Bowl talents there, wide receiver, tight end. You know, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, those guys are guaranteed to get targets from Patrick Mahomes because they've earned it. They've won together. They've been in big games together. They've won together. So I don't think he would like that situation. Green Bay, they got a Pro Bowler. You think he's on his way to the Hall of Fame in Devontae Adams. So I don't think he would like that situation because there are some targets already in place. In New Orleans, Michael Thomas, setback, out for the season. Their wide receivers are not special. I think if I'm Odell Beckham Jr., I'm thinking, all right, I can go there and ball out. It's on me. I'll be the guy coming in as a guy. I think he wants there. I don't think it's about winning. I don't think he wants to win first. I think he wants to reestablish his market value. And the best way to reestablish your market value is not to be the second or third or fourth option. It's to be the number one option or number two. I'll say Alvin Kamara's one.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you picked media. Because you would be a terrible agent. That's complete.
I'm not his agent.
But I'm glad.
I'm not his
Good
agent.
for him.
I told you.
I'm glad you're nobody's agent.
But I didn't speak as. But Mike,
no, I'm talking about what you just said. I did.
I said, but I'm not speaking as his agent, or I'm not giving him advice. If I'm giving him advice, I'm going somewhere else. But I'm talking about what I think he wants. What I think I'm being very cynical. I think he wants numbers. I don't think he wants to win. I think he wants numbers first. Because I think he wants next contract.
I heard everything you said. All the way down to the end.
The agent thing.
When you said.
I ain't trying to be no agent.
When you said the best way to reestablish his market value market agent. You said, well, I got to keep telling you what you said, dude. You getting that old? You said the best way to reestablish his market value is to ball out where he is the guy. Ain't that what you just said? Whether you were saying it as Michael Holley, posing as Odell Beckham, or just as Michael Holley, or Michael Holley as agent that he doesn't want to be, whatever you were saying it, that was what you said. And that's what I fundamentally disagree with, is what all I'm saying. I think the best way for him to reestablish his market value is to go somewhere and be a part of a winning organization. And I couldn't disagree with you more about Kansas City. Just narrowing it down to the 3 reported finalists on his list, which are Kansas City, Green Bay, and New Orleans. Kansas City should be number 1. Because, first and foremost, there are plenty of targets to go around. How many times are you watching a Kansas City Chiefs game and being like, damn, who the hell is that? Oh, wait, that's not Tyreek Hill. That ain't Travis Kelce. Who's this Pringle guy they throwing to? Who's this Robinson guy they throwing? Like, they always throw it. They've been trying to figure out the opposite receiver to Tyreek Hill for the longest time. For the longest time. Okay, they even brought in Josh Gordon thinking maybe he could contribute to filling that void. Odell Beckham going somewhere where the coverage is going to be rolled toward Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce. He may be the 3rd option, but that quarterback in Kansas City will find that option. And that's more of an opportunity for him to ball out, to your point, than going to New Orleans and catching passes from Trevor Siemian, and you're the only guy they got to worry about in the passing game, not including Alvin Kamara out of the backfield. But point being is like he'll get targets in Kansas City, and he plays with a quarterback who specializes in improvisation. So, as we've talked about all week, if Odell Beckham is an improvisational wide receiver, much to the frustration of Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield, why not go and link up with a guy with whom you can make beautiful music? Like, Odell Beckham's a jazz wide receiver. He's a jazz musician. I know New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz, but go somewhere where you got somebody that you can do a duet with that collaborates as well as any quarterback. Not to say Aaron Rodgers doesn't or couldn't. That's the guy that I think is more fixated on one target, as in Devontae Adams, than he would be trying to pepper Odell Beckham. Patrick Mahomes will throw it to anybody in that offense. He'll get plenty of opportunity in Kansas City. He goes to a winning organization with a respected coach like Andy Reid. That is how you reestablish yourself in the market going into this offseason, going and being a part of a top-notch organization, fitting in, being good in the locker room, and contributing to winning football games. In Kansas City in a wide-open AFC, adding Odell Beckham, I'm sorry, Michael, that is a difference maker.
See, this is my problem with it. This is my problem.
You want me to stop listening to you?
Because of his name.
You don't want me to listen to you anymore? That's what you said. He said he's not a difference maker. That's what you said.
No.
That's what you said.
No. I want you to listen. I want you to listen. But this whole difference maker thing, no, he's not. He's not. And it's a good story until we get to that part.
Can you define difference maker,
it's a nice,
please? Can you give me your definition of difference maker, please? What do you mean by that exactly?
Somebody, when you get them, okay, here's a better, let's just forget about the definition. I'm just going to give you 2 words.
Okay.
Randy Moss. Because I've heard this comparison. You brought it up. Randy Moss himself brought it up.
Yeah.
We're talking about Odell Beckham Jr. And I'm telling you, that's not accurate. Randy Moss was a difference maker. Randy Moss, I think, still is a difference maker. Odell Beckham Jr. is not in that category. All right.
Can I retort? Go ahead.
Will you
allow me to retort briefly?
Yes.
The Randy Moss comparison is not saying that Odell Beckham right now is as good as Randy Moss was in 2007. Okay?
Right.
That's not what I'm saying or anybody else is saying we invoke Randy Moss. We're simply talking about thinking a guy was done when it turns out that he was just in the wrong set of circumstances. Because it's easy to forget what people thought about Randy Moss in Oakland, that he was washed up. That's number one. A lot of people, most people, that's why they got him for, what was it, a 4th round pick?
Done.
Yes.
4th round pick.
Yes, most people thought he was done in Oakland. Yes, done being dominant.
Okay.
But the second quick part, and then I'll give it back to you, is that for me, a difference, I don't think he has to be Odell Beckham from New York or even dominant. to me, he makes a difference in the right situation when he represents an upgrade from what you currently have. So you and many others have talked about all the receivers at Aaron Rodgers, which this is a fault. This is false, but nonetheless, I'm just going to go with your narrative. Okay. All the receivers that Aaron Rodgers has not had over the course of his career. Okay, so instead of throwing to Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Alan Lazard, I would say Odell Beckham's a step above those two guys. That's
I'm
one
not
example.
sure.
Or
I don't know.
Okay with it. Well, there you go.
I don't know that.
There is a disagreement. Take it away. Go ahead.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it. I think he's he's a good player. And I think those guys are good players too. And nobody's comparing them to Randy Moss. But the difference
they have,
call him a Jag.
Call him a Jag.
Just call him a Jag. They're good players. Good players. Everybody can't be great. Everybody can't be a great player. Good player. They play in the NFL. Good for them. They are good, competent NFL receivers. And so is Odell Beckham Jr., who's lost. He's a good NFL receiver who has lost his way. And part of the reason he's lost his way, like twofold. It's maybe at least twofold, maybe more. Number one reason he's lost his way is that he was in a bad offense in Cleveland. A bad offense for him.
The wrong offense,
didn't work for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whatever reason. And two, it could be up here in that he's thinking that he's a one. That he's that guy. He's that dude. He's that Hall of Fame dude. And he's not. He's a good player. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. Can we say that? If he catches like 65 balls next year and another, 800 yards, if he averages that for the rest of his career, 65 or 800 and 5 or 6 touchdowns, he ain't going to the Hall of Fame, right? For the next 5 years. So he's not on a Hall of Fame track anymore. He was. And now he's not. And I think that's part of the problem, is that he still sees himself as that New York Monday Night Football circus catch, all eyes on him, Odell Beckham Jr. And
how do you know he's not?
Because I haven't seen it. So do I know it? No. Do I know it? What do I know? What do I really know? Really know it?
We don't know anything. Yeah, right.
I think it's gone. And that's all right. Now, I'm not saying he can't play anymore. I'm not suggesting he's done. But he's I feel confident. Maybe he's like the 50th best. Maybe he's like the 50th best wide receiver in the NFL, right? And that might be high. 50.
Okay.
Every team
50th is fine. 50th would be that means he's starting
right?
number 2. Well, okay, you can go 3, but right. I mean, if you go 2 wide receiver sets, that means he's a lot of teams' number 2 wide receiver, and I'll take that.
So I'll go a little lower. Okay. I'll go a little lower.
Well, okay, regardless, if you go to 64, that's the starting receiver and 2 wide receiver set. That's a wide receiver 2. What I'm saying is, I feel confident, even despite what we've seen, or more accurately, haven't seen the last couple of years. I feel confident that he is better than whatever Kansas City. Yeah,
here it is.
Look what uniform. But look what uniform he's in. No, don't worry about this. This is irrelevant. This is irrelevant. That is irrelevant B-roll because he's in the wrong uniform. Okay. I feel confident that he is better than whatever Kansas City or whoever Kansas City, with all due respect, is running out opposite Tyreek Hill. Okay. And chemistry or familiarity aside, I'll say he's more talented than MVS or Alan Lazard. Okay? And if nothing else, whether it's his name or his reputation, he's not somebody that defenses are going to just be able to ignore. So, okay, let's say he's not a 1.
But they have.
His quarterback. I think his quarterbacks ignored him more than the defensive has. But okay.
Fine. Sure.
If by ignored you mean they're not covering him like Tyreek Hill, that's fine. All I'm simply saying to you is, Michael, we're not as far apart on this as it may seem, because if you're saying he's nothing more than a 2 now, I'm saying great. That's all he got to be in Kansas City. That's all he got to be in Green Bay. Yeah. And that's the best way to reestablish yourself, is to say at this point in your career, hey man, Scottie Pippen, if you're listening, ain't nothing wrong with being number 2. Okay?
Oh, wait a minute.
Ask Michael Holley. Ask Michael Holley. Being number 2 ain't so bad. It's okay. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. We're still getting where we got to go. We're still accomplishing the mission at hand. And so if you're Odell Beckham, a lot of people are number 2. You like that, Mike? Just nod. Just smile and nod.
I see what you're doing.
A lot of people are number 2 opposite Tyreek Hill. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm surprised you didn't go.
Are number 2 opposite.
I'm surprised you didn't get there earlier.
Exactly.
I expected that in the previous, like in last week's Scottie Pippen conversation. I was actually sitting dead red fastball for that one. And the pitch never came.
But let me stay there for a second. And I'm being serious when I say this. The beauty of our partnership and our chemistry is that switches off. We could both run point. We could both initiate the offense. You could be a 1, I could be a 1. You could be a 2, I could be a 2. It's like, I think Odell Beckham has more than you think he does. So if he goes opposite Tyreek Hill or opposite Devontae Adams, he could be a 1 masquerading as a 2. And that makes for a great offense. That makes for an incredible opportunity to ball out with a great quarterback and win football games. He could have everything he wants. You think he just wants his numbers. You think he just wants his targets. And he doesn't care if he loses games in the process. I don't believe that to be the case. I don't believe he's a selfish player. I think like all wide receivers, they believe that your best chance of winning is to get the ball in my hands.
Is get the ball.
And if you're not getting the ball, therein lies the frustration. Now, granted, his dad did not post the video of him dropping balls. And his dad certainly didn't get into the minutia of whether or not he was in the place he was supposed to be. Nonetheless, I think he's still gifted. And he's better than most teams' number 2. Definitely better than what Kansas City and Green Bay is rolling out there.
Couple of things. Let me throw out there just for context and perspective. I liked how you put Odell Beckham Jr. as a jazz musician. And if it's New Orleans, if he goes to New Orleans, that jazz album is Ella and Louis. Okay, 2 number 1s right there. Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. Those are 2 number 1s. And it's a great album. It's great. Ella and Louis.
No, right. No, but I'm saying who's the other number 1 in New Orleans?
Kamara. It doesn't work because it's not another wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I don't think New Orleans. I think New Orleans is a good fit for him if he's being selfish. But if he's not being selfish, it's either Kansas City. You're right. It's either Kansas City or Green Bay. Now, another Randy Moss story. Randy Moss, when he first got to the Patriots, before he signed, he met with Bill Belichick, and Belichick asked him a question that either Matt LaFleur should ask Odell Beckham Jr. now or Andy Reid, no matter where he winds up. The question was, okay, tell me what you want. Mm-hmm. Tell me how do you see your career? What do you want to do? Now, Randy Moss's answer to that question was, hey, Coach, I just want to win. And he took it a step further. He said, Coach, I want to win, and I'd play for free. To which Bill Belichick leaned over to Scott Pioli privately and said,
"You got that?
Okay, let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can make that happen."
You got that?
But they wound up. But they really did. They wound up. They slashed his contract. You remember it was like $3 or $4 million a year, and the next year they gave him his money. Mm-hmm. But he established what he wanted. He spoke it, and he really put his talent where his money had been. He put his talent there, and he balled out. Odell Beckham Jr. still, I need that question answered.
But I think, it is being answered. If these are the 3 franchises, if it's Kansas City, Green Bay, and New Orleans are his finalists, those are 3 perennial contending franchises. In New Orleans, you talked about the great story that is Odell Beckham. Look, being homecoming king, forget about catches. That'll be the warmest and best reception for him. If he goes back to New Orleans, a conquering hero, okay? And it's a great story, which is why I say that's for next year when they get a quarterback in there. Trevor Siemian, if I got an opportunity to play with Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, or Trevor Siemian, process of elimination is getting rid of New Orleans. Love you, New Orleans. See you next year. But again, even still, great organization.
But if he goes
the other two, if he goes to Kansas City or Green Bay, if those are his other finalists, great quarterbacks, but great organizations, so that should tell you that he wants to win. Otherwise, he'd have been fine with getting claimed by Detroit.
They're finalists. So based on what you just said,
where's Baltimore?
If you put it that way, stop Baltimore. Baltimore, I told you Baltimore would not be interested. They're not interested.
You don't know that.
I do know that. All right, based on what you just said, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Siemian. If he picks Trevor Siemian in New Orleans, what does that tell you?
Tells you he wants to go home to New Orleans. Tells you he wants to go home. It ain't like they're a bad team. They're not the best of those three. They ain't got no money to give him. They ain't got money to give, unless they moved it around. Unless they move money around. They don't have the money to give him. Green Bay offered him the minimum. I would take the minimum.
Money.
Because to me, if I'm Odell Beckham,
targets that he
money don't. If I'm Odell Beckham, money don't matter tonight because the show didn't matter yesterday. So the contract is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. If I'm Odell Beckham.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny. You talk about those targets, those great quarterbacks. They move it around. Yeah, they move it around to the open guy, or to the guy who makes sense. But in losing situations, that WR1 is getting his 10 targets no matter what the game calls for. He's getting 10 to 12, and he expects.
You got this kid all wrong. You got this kid all wrong.
Has it?
You got this kid all wrong. I don't believe that.
I hope so.
That's how he's wired.
I hope so.
All right.
I'm rooting for him to be in a good situation.